Hey y'all, CapNCrunch out. And you can see I got some little crumbs and stuff. I'm just finished eating my little fruit and nut mix. Got some coconut spilled on me. Yeah, happy Sabbath, everybody. There's something God put on my tongue for y'all again this morning. Or this afternoon now, I should say. Those who have trouble, I guess, probably even still conceiving or believing in God. There's some dude in particular, I can't remember his name, but he's a real advocate of saying that everything comes from nothing. I'll look him up again and probably tangle with him a little bit mentally, see if I could straighten him out or help enlighten him and whoever I guess else is following him. But we all know Christianity is pretty much the baby religion as far as major religions go. The youngest religion probably that's out there. You got Islam and the Hindu and all those other Buddhists. They've been around for thousands and thousands, probably even more than that, years. Christianity, like I said, from it's only 2023. That's how old. I mean, Jesus was. His ministry didn't start until a little bit later than that. So it's roughly close to 2,000 years old. And he, at that point, I guess that was at the point God had actually stopped, I guess, possibly speaking to everybody. So it was a time when he used to speak commonly, I guess, with people on earth. But when things got so bad, he actually decided he's only going to talk to either only his son, I can't remember exactly correctly, or a selected few of his chosen, I guess, what he may, I don't know, call high priests or just special people anyway. People like Moses and, that kind of thing, King David, all them kind of thing. People used to actually hear from him. We still do. But a little proof that I guess some of you may need to hear if they didn't teach this to y'all in religious classes. Back in the day, when Jesus was first, I guess, born, he was kind of raised in a Hebrew church, or if I forget the term, they call it, anyway, he was raised as a Hebrew child in the Hebrew church, the Hebrew worship center, whatever they call it, until about the age of 12 years old. Now, they had a practice back in the day where God used to actually still literally, talk to people where they built their temples. They had this secret room, well, not secret, but there was a room that was usually somewhere in the back of the temple somewhere that was called the most holy place, where only the high priest, and you couldn't be faking. You had to be really chosen by God to go there, because that was pretty much like how you got the red phone to the president's office. That was like the red phone to God, more or less. Only that person was able to go into that room, because that was the one who was responsible for getting the message to send to the people, more or less. So it was so serious. And like I said, God don't play when it comes to his people. If you come to try and trick, you can't trick God. Like one of the old captains we used to work used to say, you can shit the baker, but you can't shit the undertaker. You can't fool God. So what they used to do is whoever it was, I don't know if the people used to probably choose the high priest back in the days, or whoever they felt was, the most wise, or whoever the elder. Maybe even they used to consider their, I don't know, chief or something like that, king, maybe perhaps the high priest, the ruler of their church, or the ruler of their, congregation. When he used to go, whoever that person was, used to go into that actual holy place. They used to tie a rope around their foot, a long rope. So when they go into that room, quite often, and when I say quite often enough that they actually decided to actually go ahead and start tying rope around these people's feet as they go into this supposed most holy place. Because sometimes the wrong person, like you see in some of them movies, and like, we only gotta have to be the right person to get through the flicking portal or this, that, or the next thing. Or if it's the wrong person, they used to die. Literally used to die. How? Nobody knows. But they used to go into the room, and if they happened to be the wrong person or of the wrong spirit or whatever it is, wrong mindset, whatever it is, they didn't get to ask no questions. The only thing is they know it probably went real quiet and then probably started to get real stink after a while. So they used to have to pull them out of the room with that rope. That's how serious God is and how real God is. And I mean, how active he is as far as his people, and abrupt sometimes. So you could think of any house, of any church. It takes a few seconds, depending if it's a big place, maybe a minute or two to walk to anywhere inside of a particular building nowadays. I don't know if the churches or synagogues were larger or smaller in those days or not. I'm not sure. But think about it. If you walk from your church front entrance to where your pastor's study, I guess, may be what may be considered possibly the holy place, if that's what that was back in the days, it may take a few seconds. You walk in there, imagine if God was still doing same things the exact same way. Many of y'all would be flicking morgue heroes right now, just because of the way y'all is, or the way a lot of us may have been. You can't go inside the most holy place. Your body is the temple, and think of it that way too. A woman has a most holy place. Technically, I guess you could say a man has a most holy place, where only who's supposed to be chosen is supposed to be able to actually enter. So, because God's temple is real, the body is real, the body of body of God is real. Who he don't want inside his temples, don't go inside his temples. There's some things out there like AIDS and some other stuff you missing. Go inside the wrong thing or go inside the wrong temple with the wrong intentions. Later on, sometimes right on top of it, that same dude who they found dead in bed with the prostitute girl or something like Kevin something or other a couple months back, he flicking literally just crop out on top of the woman. Yes, it is real, folks. The body of God, the temple of God, the body is the temple of God. It really could be that y'all holy places may have been contaminated or messed with, and at the same time, if God don't want you in there, he could make sure you don't go back inside no temples. I'll say it like that. Sickness is one way. If you're lucky, it might be a slow process. Some of them on the way back from where they come from, run up into trees, run off the road, get knocked down, struck by lightning, someone run up on them and blam them. All kinds of things has happened. God uses all types of methods. He works in mysterious ways, they say. And if you're not adept or pay attention to, some of the lives of some of these people, when you see some of these things happen, you be just thinking, oh, it's just all they while they was this, that, and the next thing. That might not necessarily be the case. They've been up in the wrong place, in the most holy place of somebody that was God considered holy, and did the wrong thing, had the wrong intentions, or possibly the other way around. Somebody let somebody with good intentions into a possible bad temple. That's why they say this biblical harlot, you do not go into her house. Her body is a temple too, I guess. You do not go into her house, meaning you do not have sex with that harlot. Babylon the Great, Google it in Revelations, look it up in your Bible. Do not mess with that woman. Clearly, she's got a uniform. It wouldn't have said so if she didn't. Scarlet or violet, possibly both, maybe either or. Do not fool with that woman. Like I said, if we see you walking around with rope around your foot, trust me, some of us gonna understand. You might be one of them who, might take the chance. Hopefully, ain't nobody got to flick and pull you by it. But understand, God is real and he's serious about his people and his temples. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for right now. Crunch out.